Okay, so today we're going to look at Anthko's theory of time and traveling across the universe using alien technology or alien propulsion systems. And just a couple disclaimers. Anthko's theory of time is a theory. It has not been proven to be real. We're just assuming it is real just to ponder possibilities of this video. Aliens are not proven to be real. We're assuming they're real to ponder possibilities within this video, and the technology described in this video is not real. It is just ponderings of what could potentially exist if Anthko's theory of time was real, and from a very fundamental standpoint. In no way would the actualization of this technology be considered possible at this point in time, and even if it was possible, the way it's described in this video is probably 90% wrong. All right, with that out of the way, let's jump in. So if we consider Anthko's theory of time, we're probably going to look at how to leverage temporal quanta to travel faster than the speed of light, to travel between galaxies. And why do I say faster than the speed of light? Because if you believe in science, you typically believe that the Big Bang existed and was a thing. And we know that the Big Bang happened in a very small duration of time, and that things were spread across the universe, or the universe was created in a speed that far exceeds the speed of light. Which is a paradox, right? How can you create a universe and spread things across the universe faster than the speed of light can travel if the speed of light is the fastest thing and nothing can meet or exceed that speed? And we know that the Big Bang happened much, much, much quicker than the speed of the light, because we're currently saying that we're just now receiving light from some of the distant stars. If we're just now receiving light from some of the distant stars, and we're saying that our universe is only so many years old, that means that one of two things happened. Those distant stars weren't part of the Big Bang, or those distant stars, light traveled so slowly that it took such a long time to get to our planet, meaning that they were created and dispersed way out in the ether somewhere, faster than the speed of light could travel. So if we want to go faster than the speed of light, we would have to leverage the speed of time. And according to Anthko's theory of time, it's not explicitly stated that time travels faster than the speed of light, but as just described by the paradox with the Big Bang, it is inferable that the speed of time is faster than the speed of light. And to leverage that speed, we would have to capture time within our propulsion system and leverage it. So to do this, we would have to create some kind of alloy that would be able to house temporal quanta without aging and breaking down. So we need something with an extremely long half-life. For this, I'm going to suggest bismuth 209, and we're also going to need something that can resist radiation and heat very well, so maybe tungsten. And again, these are just pulling them out of the air. So if we create an alloy using bismuth 209 and tungsten, then we have this alloy that, depending on how we mix it, could last a very, very long time and be extremely resistant to both heat and radiation. Once we have that alloy, we would pour out a plate that would well, let's discuss how to build it and then where to mount it. We would pour out a plate, and then we would collect some of that temporal quanta and spread it fairly densely packed across the plate. And then we would pour out a second bismuth tungsten alloy plate and place that on top of the temporal quanta, so that the temporal quanta is squashed between these two plates, to keep in some of those temporal quanta properties. And in the center of the plate would be a hole with I guess inlets would be the best way to describe it to that temporal quanta, so that those temporal quanta properties can seep into that central cylindrical hole in those two plates. And then we would mount that to most likely the rearmost part of the vessel. We'll call it a spacecraft. And then, so how does this actually work? How does this create propulsion in space? So within these plates, these bismuth tungsten plates, towards the cylindrical hole, will have a greater density of temporal quanta, and towards the edges it'll be slightly reduced. And then what we're going to do is we're going to send volatile product through that hole, and what is going to happen is as it passes through that hole, it is going to break down and create a tremendous amount of energy, and that energy is going to be sent towards the aft of the craft. And in space, every action has an equal and opposite reaction. It's going to propel the craft forward. Okay, that's great. But what is the purpose of the temporal quanta in the bismuth tungsten plate? So the purpose of that is to actually slow the backdraft of that reaction. That reaction that creates that tremendous amount of energy is going to happen very, very quickly if we don't compensate for that. So the temporal quanta will create a localized time dilation as that material and energy that is being created exits that time dilation. It's going to create an immense amount of forward thrust in a very specific direction. And it's going to continue that until all of that propulsion has dissipated out of that time dilation, which greatly extends the amount of energy and thrust being put out. Yeah, that's right. And that's the basic principles of how to create a propulsion system using Anthko's theory of time if you are an alien. Bismuth tungsten plates with temporal quanta that extend and magnify the amount of rearward thrust. I think that's right. If it's not, feel free to call me on the Bologna